So, can you hear me? Yep, I can hear myself very well. So, let's go for Oyaple, 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 Oyaple. इंग्लिश નો બોલું બોલો હું કરું ઇંગ્લિશ નો બોલું પ્રેક્ટિસ કરવાની છે ને
You shouldn't wear socks to bed because your body is able to regulate its own temperature when you sleep. Socks are simply unnecessary, and they can also trap things like moisture and bacteria because people naturally sweat when they sleep, especially if it's warm. Additionally, tight socks restrict circulation, um, and overall, sleeping barefoot is going to be more comfortable for the most people because of increased circulation and avoiding bacteria.
For this argument, I would say that even though it may be tight, but it's a problem of wearer itself that they did not buy the perfect fit for normal people in winter or even in any situation. They should wear socks because in night you can't be that comfortable without socks if you don't have in winter especially.
Yeah, so my opponent's sole argument is socks for being comfortable in the wintertime. However, again, you're still going to lose circulation and your body can naturally regulate temperature. This is why blankets exist. Blankets already address this issue. You don't need the additional lack and loss of circulation that socks provide. Socks overall, you shouldn't wear them because they're just coming with the added risk of trapping bacteria and making your socks dirty.
And for trapping bacteria argument, I would say if you wash it enough cleanly every day, and it's a hygiene issue of personal health, not the fault of socks. And for wearing socks, I would prefer it would be preferable if you wear a gentle socks which have breathable material, which would be beneficial for both people and around them, because it would be them. Okay. So, all in all, for my closing argument, I will for again insist that fitting is the problem of wearer, because they didn't buy the perfect fit. And for a hygiene or bacterial issue, it's their hygiene issue that they did not clean itself very well. And that's my closing argument.
Firstly, with the hygiene issue, I would argue this is why you still shouldn't wear socks to bed, because if it's common for those to have hygiene issues, they shouldn't wear socks. Additionally, even if they don't have these issues, wearing socks to bed, since you naturally sweat, it's going to become a hygiene issue. That's my whole argument. Whether it is or it isn't, it's eventually going to become a hygiene issue if you continue wearing socks to bed, regardless of whether the material is breathable or not. So overall, there's no necessary reason to do so.
Mhm. 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 GG, brother.
GG.
Hi.
Hi. Spare. For my opening argument, I would say virality is very as well as important as truth, because when something is not viral, and even if it's true, it is meaningless, because it is important that people need mass knows what is truth, what is happening, or what is they are going to do about anything. So virality is as important as truth.
Well, virality isn't is bad for truth because emotions could take control. When having a social media post that is putting up a truth, when it is like expanding very, very, very large, emotions could take part, and people may get angry rather than giving the information in a more a better way. And
For that part of argument, I would quote the Hegelism that even if it's true or not, the virality would make it viral, and by truth and again false, and truth and false would make it very persuasive that we will reach near the truth. So virality would bring more attention to the truth rather than uh, false any.
My opponent is saying that virality is vital and inevitable. So, not inevitable, it's vital and it's important. So, more attention could come to the truth and more people would know faster. But I believe that no, having a calm way to give the information and without just putting it to the all the people and expanding in a very escalating way might cause a problem. Giving it in a calm way is better than virality. In my closing, I say that my point is that virality is bad for truths and facts that are going to go for the society because they may cause big problems and a lot of chaos. Rather than giving the information in a very calm and logical way would be better. My opponent said that virality would bring attention, but it would bring chaos with the attention.
In my closing argument, I will still stand by that virality would as virality is as good as truth, because if mass doesn't know the truth or half truth, anything near the truth, they are eventually going to be ignorant. So that's bad for that, and virality would eventually bring out the truth, even if it's false. So virality is very good for a truth in whole and whole system.
Yeah, GG.
GG, bro.
Where are you from?
India. You, bro.
Yeah. A lot of people play this game from India. They tend to find that. I'm from Georgia.
I just saw it on my Instagram reel, and I just want to debate with someone.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Nice. GG, GG.
GG, bro.
No way.
We met again.
No way, man. I never wanted four. That's bullshit. It's very bad. It's a very bad position. I'll try my best.
For this argument, I would suggest that people who are specifically good at one thing may become master of that thing, and if it is necessary, like surgery or like a artisan of specific type, it is very productive for society for that particular uh, thing. So it is good for being master of one thing rather than multiple thing in average.
Being average at 10 different skills or at multiple skills can benefit a person more than mastering one single skill, especially when this guy is in his getting over it, like in his 20s. Being average at these 10 different skills give you the varieties and the diversity to be able to choose which one suits you and then master it, rather than just be mastering one and focusing.
If for my opponent, I would say that if he's averaging in 10 skill and he doesn't do it very well, their focus is divided into 10 different things, which would eventually bring down the overall productivity of that person, and which eventually decrease the common productivity of society. So being average at 10 different skill is way way loser than being master.
My opponent said that being good at an important skill or being a master in an important or a productive skill would be good for society. But what I would say for my opponent, that being a master of one skill is that you should not just go and focus on one skill. You should give yourself the diversity to choose what suits you first. So you should get average at multiple skills and see where you find yourself better and then master it. That's better. In my closing, I think having diversity in different skills and different information and different industries is better than mastering one single thing for your whole life. Because when something would fall out from you, you have a change of plans, because you have some information about that different skill, and you have more things to choose what suits you and what is best for you.
No, I would say that my opponent just proved my point right. That he's saying that average 10 averaging skill, and then after that one good skill. But I would argue that that time, that resources for that 10 average skill, and followed by mastering of that one skill is very time consuming and very loseful. So that's why I'm still on ground that mastering one skill at a time and following it throughout the life is very good idea for.
Yeah.
I would have lost
I was caught
this.
bad in this argument.
Yeah, I also think I have done
Uh,
bad rather than.
I picked four. I wanted to go four. It's bad. It's a bad position to go in at average at 10 skills. It's bad.
Okay, GG, bro.
GG.
Y'all.
I just don't understand the topic. It is trying to
A,
say.
a public utility is a business or organization that maintains the infrastructure. So like make it free or something.
Internet shouldn't be treated a public utility because internet has many layers, and if we treat it as a public utility, it would uh, increase the burden of internet users on government, eventually increasing the tax on the common people, which would decrease the overall use of internet eventually. So that's why I would suggest that it should not be treated
The
as.
internet should be treated as a public utility as it is a basic necessity in our world today. Most of the world uses internet. However, some people cannot afford the internet as the rising cost of rent and utilities like electric, water, and other factors that make internet very expensive. However, it is a necessity to be able to access public services that people rely on.
For public services there are government websites, but treating whole internet as a public utility would increase the burden because you need to have multiple thing at a back end, like servers, handling of the servers, and many more things which are technologically inefficient if we do it without any profits. So it would make government lose more money on internet than any other thing.
The servers are actually not the problem. Most people already use the internet. There are servers built enough to prove that. Main problem and the strongest point of your argument could be that like service providers they might lose money and the government would have to pay them and that would increase taxes. Um, However, I believe that if they was provided as a public utility, the economic standard would improve. Internet should be treated as a public utility because it economy and allow public access to public services we already pay for with our taxes, such as the government services that my opponent mentions. People cannot access it if they do not have internet that they cannot pay for because they are poor. The public internet should be treated as a public utility because of the servers are taken care of. It's just very
But internet with service provider are maintaining the backend very well, and they are the backbone when it comes to providing, because if it is going to government, there should be there would be delays because of government regulation and anything else, and eventually the growth of internet would decrease. So I would suggest that internet should not be treated as public utility. Let's see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Mm,
wait. Yes, I think I got it.
mm.
Let's go. Man, I've been on a massive losing streak. You have no idea.
I'm
I don't know
I,
if it's like
I am also on live. I have This is my third day of losing, so I don't feel very
uh
bad about it. Let's
yeah.
continue.
Start it. Sab, good luck.
Good luck. I got against. For my initial argument, I would say that rewards are the very motivator of innovation in a new generation from like 18 from 8 from Columbus journey for the America to innovation to the win the AI race. We are in the loop of reward and cycle of reward. So that's why fear of reward is a main motivator for this generation.
Okay, so my opponent has mentioned that India was found because of the reward, but I would say that there's also a big factor of fear that was involved, because if he didn't find anything, then he would have to go home without any reward and he'd lose all the uh, initial capital that he has given. And most of the inventions that mankind has made has been in war, and it has been due to fear.
For that, I would argue that even though the start of journey of Columbus was for reward, which was announced in the Portugal, so that's the first point. And for uh, every other point, I would say that in the circumstances of fear, it is not only fear because every time in war, whoever made greater contribution would get reward after war and in the war. So that's the
Yeah. So, for examples, laptop, the net, all these great new things, they were invented to win wars, and this was mainly due to the fear of being killed and the need to win and save your loved ones. So I think fear is a way stronger motivation than reward because of this. Yeah. To end my debate, I would reiterate that every great innovation that mankind has made, be it the net, be it the laptop, or be it the phone, or be it the radio waves, or be it the the battery, they all have been from fear. And I think reward is a secondary motivation, and fear is the primary one.
for closing argument, I would say that reward is the main contributor because every time something new is innovated, it is promoted by most of the time entrepreneur, and they are the first one to get its pie, and they are the first one to being for the profit of things. So that's why they want profits in everything. So they are innovating new and new things for AI. Even this profit is the main thing in the future.
GG, bro, GG. I think it'll
Mm,
be close.
I don't.
कहाँ से हो भैया आप?
Mm, hmm?
कहाँ से हो आप?
गुजरात आप
मैं भाई बॉम्बे.
बॉम्बे
देखते हैं, अभी देखते हैं. I think it'll be close. You might win.
आई एम ऑन
आज
लाइव
थोड़ा सा weird topic,
या
and logic तो मेरा थोड़ा better था, ठीक है, because I wanted this topic and I used evidence fine.
आई नो
Oh, I didn't expect. I think आपका delivery better था, but हाँ same मिला है. But it's oh
आई
nice.
वाजंट रेडी फॉर अगेंस्ट आई नो
I
दैट
got lucky, bro. I got lucky.
सो
GG, bro. GG.
जी जी Mhm.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Government should not actively regulate social media algorithms because of the very simple fact that they might use it for their propaganda purpose and push their own incentives out there. We have already seen in Nazi Germany as well as North Korea where they try to regulate social media as well as normal media algorithms, and hence they propagate us which is harmful for the civilians. We can tend to have information which is most likely to be false as well as flawed for our own society. They are just doing for their own incentive.
For this argument, I would say that even though there are some downside of propaganda, but right now we are living in internet, in social media, where echo chambers have been made for the right or left wings. So these echo chambers are the very thing which are propagating the hate between the people in society, and it is the very thing that needs to be addressed. So government should actively engage in this and try to mitigate these differences.
First of all, my opponent just agreed. Then yeah, there are some problem of propagating media. Then he told about the echo chambers of left wing and right wing, and that's where the actual problem comes out. Suppose there is a ruling party of a right wing, they will try to suppress and minimize the left wing outlets over there and regulate them and consider them illegal. Hence, oppressing the opposition party itself and making the democracy shatter on its feet. We won't be having opposition as well as people voice to be heard.
My opponent says, is it true that there is chances of government tweaking its algorithm towards themselves, but eventually government would be collapse if media algorithm goes like this, because there would be no government in future, because two extremist side will become appear due to social media echo chambers, and which will increase chance of which will increase the chance of zero in the country. Eventually, the government cannot handle this, and government would fall eventually. So that's not the argument. They should try to moderate it and try to ban not ban illicit content to every extremist thoughts. So they should try to intervene the algorithm of internet.
First of all, my opponent just agreed of the fact that yeah, government will use to propagate media. Secondly, they also agreed that yeah, the ruling party might be oppressive in nature towards the opposition party. Then they claim to have that there are some extremist groups which might influence people in bad ways, so they should be regulated. But the things come here: those extremist groups are actually created by the ruling party itself and the government itself because of the oppression they create for the minority sectors and the marginalized groups. We have to maintain the freedom of speech and expression, hence not regulate the social media.
Yeah, I am against it, but I
GG's,
have
man.
to argue for it. I don't know how did I
Yeah,
did.
I agree, man. That happens. That happens so much.
Look, I know I'm going to get my ass kicked in this. Yep, yep. Oh, GG, bro.
88, nice.
Mm.
GG's, bro.
All the best.
All the best, sir. Oh, India, sir.
Yep.
Oh, me too.
For this argument, I would say social media is the democracy of online, because social media would provide the information and everything they need or they might not need. Any incident they provide, whereas traditional news media outlet are almost entirely controlled by the enterprises and government, so they are tweaking the real incident to propaganda, so that's why
Yeah, so what I think that traditional news platforms usually have qualified and professional journalists who verify information before publishing it on a national level. But on social media, anyone can post anything, whether it is true or completely fake. So social media is fast, I agree, but speed does not mean accuracy. And traditional news gives us more reliable and proper context of the news.
traditional media was at one time was good, but in modern times traditional media is more of a sensationalism rather than providing a truth, and that's why I'm telling that social media is a better way of consuming news, because there are both parties, that good and bad sides, or both side of a coin, good and other sides is given on social media rather than in social our anchor rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, what I think that you are saying that traditional media has become too sensational. I agree with you, but news channel use dramatic headlines and dramatic stories to actually attract viewers. And however, that does not mean that traditional media is useless. So, most established news outlets like Times of India still have major journalists, editors, and fact-checking process behind their reporting. That actually
You're
Oh,
closing,
it's
brother.
me only. Okay, okay. Closing. So, what I think is in my closing to that traditional media may sometimes be sensational, may use things like Bollywood is that, Bollywood is what, but it still provides research and verified information because of their employees. And social media may be faster, but it can also spread rumors and misinformation.
For closing, I would still prefer that social media, because it is providing all the truths, because there would be multiple version of a single incident by left wing, right wing, and every other person with their own tweaking in. So that's why it would become neutral overall. While traditional media, for every channel there would be another propaganda which has been proven or tweaked by the traditional media. So I would still prefer social media over traditional news.
It was very good, man. Nice meeting you.
Mm, let's see. Yep, I am got out. Mhm.
Oh, you get the dub there. You get the dub.
GG,
It
bro.
was really nice debating with you. GG, man. GG's.
I need to do something about myself. Let's see. It's still time.
Yeah, puppy are there. Good luck. Yes.
against.
Against.
I think award shows are no longer relevant because, I mean, it's a known fact that most award shows are just, fake. All the awards are bought by these people, and they literally serve no one. They are not impartial. They're not unbiased, and hence they lack a purpose. They serve no purpose. They do not differentiate between good and bad works of art.
In my argument, I would say that Golden Globe Awards, or what was the name? I forgot the name about one awards, which is a very prestigious awards in the world, and for that people work for their half of their lives. So it would motivate them to get that award. So award would bring the talent out of people with hard work, and they will distinguish on that basis. So
Okay, one example I'd like to give to support my claim is that, for example, the Oscars, right? The
Oscar,
Oscars,
yeah.
you have to submit your movie, and then they choose if that movie is good or bad, and then they rank the movies. So, let's say a very good movie has not been submitted, then that is not being taken into consideration for the first place. So, I think lots of good movies and good pieces of art are missed entirely by these award shows, and that's why they're not relevant at all.
For their argument that there are many things that everything everywhere now cannot provide everywhere. So that doesn't mean that it decreases its relevance, because it motivates the people on bottom level that they need to work hard to get that specific award, and that specific uh, milestone they need to get that. That's why they get motivated, even though they do not get paid in some movies or in some in some series. In closing argument, I would say even though some awards which are at local level, even some in international level, are tricked by organizers or participants, but there are some still reputed awards in the world which actors and directors try to gain by their talent and by their hard work. So awards still is relevant.
One more point I'd like to add on why award shows are no longer relevant is that most award shows they judge how the who the who the person is the award should go to on the basis of, let's say, what is the biggest box office, or what do people say, and what most people say might not be what's right. Most people in Germany supported Hitler, and that's obviously objectively wrong. ओ भाई बाप रे
I don't खबर નથી awards તો જોયા નથી હજી સુધી. I haven't seen awards in like
करते रहो
how many
करते रहो वही हो
years.
जाएगा
Mm, yep.
मैं भी बहुत स्टैमर करता हूँ मैं भी उसी पे काम कर रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा स्टैमरिंग कम कर दूँ
Mm,
अभी हो जाएगा
yeah. GG bro.
जी जी ब्रो
betting sports. Should be legal. What? I am against it. For opening argument, I would say sports betting should be legal everywhere because it is one of the it is a one form of entertainment for local people. And second, there are some people who can even earn by this betting. So eventually, it would they would try to tell luck. And also, it also increases the revenue of that country and that local government. So it should be legal. Most of the sport betting where the large prize pool is drawn, very small amount of that goes to winner, but very large amount is go to charity. So that's also there that they can help go society as a whole, even though it is bad for individual, but overall as a society it would help that they create this pool and try to donate it to charity. For my ending argument, I would say, even though it is illegal in many places, people still bet on sporting app because with unregulated platforms, if it is legalized, it can be enforceable for people to get out of fraud. So that's there. So if it is regulated, then a government can intervene in many of frauds which are happening right now because it is illegal. GG, bro. I am no, I am against it, but still. I got a short stick of hand. Yeah. Hmm. Let's see, GG. We meet again, brother.
Oh, you again? I have nothing to speak on this topic.
Against.
I have nothing to speak on this topic, bro.
For my argument, that even though energy independence is a priority, should take priority, but decarbonization is a global problem. So carbonization is a global problem. So if we don't start right now, it would become very. It would become late to eventually start and to reverse problems we are causing right now, which would cause effects in future, which we might handle right now.
Yeah, so energy independence should come before decarbonization, uh, because a country that depends on foreign nation for its own energy is vulnerable to wars, political conflicts, and price increases, which eventually degrades their citizens' life quality. And we should absolutely invest in clean energy, but not at the cost of energy security. A nation must first be able to reliably power its homes.
But if whole civilization, there is a threat of a whole civilization extinction because of carbonization, carbon deposit in the atmosphere, which will eventually decrease the life efficiency of people, and eventually destroy whole ecosystem of the earth. So decarbonization would be priority over the energy independence of every country.
See, I agree with you that fossil fuels and industrialization help transform civilization, and it is one of the most transformative thing that had happened to our Earth. But that does not mean we should remain dependent on them forever. Coal, oil, gas helped us build the modern world, but today they also create environmental and geopolitical risk. The point of energy independence is to not reject progress. And see, it is for us to make sure that we control our own energy while continuing to develop better technologies. See, civilization advanced human because humans kept improving their tech. We should do the same with energy. And we should absolutely invest in clean energy, but not at the cost of the nation's security. And a nation must first be able to reliably power its homes, industries, and economy because it's not.
But when it's a global problem, so individual country needs to think about it and come together on solution about decarbonization, because every country, if it takes a selfish stance of becoming energy independence, then we would never be able to decarbonize early enough to reverse the effects it has caused. So that's why I believe that decarbonization should be. Let's see.
Oh, you're from India, right?
Hmm?
What part of India?
Yeah, India, Gujarat.
Gujarat. Oh, I'm from Gujarat also, man.
ક્યાંથી છો?
Yeah?
ક્યાંથી છો? Where are you
No,
from?
no, I don't know Gujarati. My
Okay,
parents are from Gujarat, but I'm not
okay,
aware.
no problem.
Oh, you are the
So let's end the stream here. It was second day, fourth day, yep. And I won only one. It's not that good, but still, I need to go. Have a good night. Rest well, sleep tight, and a good night. God bless you. Yehi Krishna.